Welcome back to TechnoStrategy YouTube channel. So, in a recent bit of a news, there was a conference by Intel Foundry, and yeah, we got some interesting news where a question was asked to Pat Gelsinger, which essentially is the head of Intel, and he says Intel will now offer its process nodes to some of its competitors, and there may be a situation where in your product teams are competing with it. And Intel's Foundry and Intel, he said, Intel Foundry and Intel products are two different things. So if someone comes to Intel Foundry, for example, NVIDIA, they will not deny it. And there was a rumor, and it says we hope that that includes Jensen from NVIDIA, Cristiano from Qualcomm, and Sundar from Google. And you have heard today it includes Satya from Microsoft, and I even hope that includes Lisa of AMD going forward. I mean, we want to be the foundry of the world. So yeah, Ryzen processors might be made by Intel later down the line. Who knows? But at the current point, it is made by TSMCs. But we don't know what the future holds for Intel's processors, not AMD processor. Next up, we have I recently made a video where Unreal Engine games were crashing on i9 and 3900, but now we have some news regarding it, and NVIDIA's and two developers have all recommended to underclock your Intel iCo Core i9 processors. It is because that both was said to effectively unlimited power at 4096 4096 watts and 4096 amps, which is effectively their default current limit, which is too much per se. And yeah, this just shows how Intel is pushing their processors very high for the performance gain. But in Intel CPUs, setting a TDP at, as you can see on the screen here, will help lower the crashing of these applications, which is a nice thing. So essentially, you need to go into the BIOS and essentially undervolt your CPU so that it doesn't consume too much power, like unlimited power, and cause the other applications to crash. As you can see, long duration power limit is 2075, while 2085 for short duration, and CPU current limit should be set at 350. Next up, we have some news regarding Ryzen, and according to this leaker, we will see an IPC increase of upwards in Cinematch R23 upwards of greater than 2800 and 40% IPC increase, which is too much for say. And yeah, for that 40% IPC increase might be coming from the core clocks also increasing, because reports are saying, according to Red Gaming Tech, that it will go as high as 6 gigahertz. So the IPC uplift is going to be insane on Zen 5, and and Lisa Su will have an opening opening keynote on Computex 2024. So they will not launch, but they will talk about Ryzen 9000 processors during that event, and this just looks pretty interesting. Over 40% IPC increase is truly insane to look at. Lastly, for today, NVIDIA has launched its new NVIDIA Ready control panel, which looks pretty nice, and this is an uplift from Geforce experience. It is called NVIDIA app. So essentially, it is still in beta, but essentially you will having an NVIDIA app which is similar to that of AMD's Adrenalin software, but the difference being it's for NVIDIA GPUs, and you will no longer need to go through video settings for NVIDIA control panel. It will all be integrated into NVIDIA app, and you don't need to install GeForce Experience also. And NVIDIA control panel was looked to be pretty old. It was back in XP era, but now you can essentially use a preferred driver, and you can skip. You don't need to log in to the app to download features and stuff. So yeah, it's pretty nice. And GeForce AM experience will essentially give you some equipment, some things inside directly inside game which you can tweak, which is also nice. And the feature which was like SDR to HDR is also available with NVIDIA app, but do not you need an RTX 30 series or 40 series or 20 series cards, because this essentially requires DirectX 9, Windows 11, DirectX 12, Vulkan, and also tensor cores, but NVIDIA will be supported on all of the graphics cards as long as you have Windows 11 installed. But some of the features are locked behind RTX series. But yeah, and you also need 16 GB of VRAM. But it looks pretty nice. At least finally NVIDIA is implementing a new app which which is well needed because Adrenaline Edition by AMD's Adrenaline Edition is pretty nice and it looks pretty good overall, though it's sometimes a bit weird for me to use, but at the same time it looks pretty nice and you have some features directly inside games which is built in. But yeah, that's it from me today. What do you think about the news going on this week? Sound of your thoughts in the comment section below. Like, share and subscribe, and I will meet you in the next one.